Today we're going to be taking a look at Iran's weapon of choice. And no, it's not an AK-47. What is up, guys? This is Chris with FrozenSoldierAirsoft, and today we're going to be looking at the JG T3 K1 assault rifle, otherwise known as the H&K G3. So before we get into the review, I just want to take a quick second to go over what is happening. Now, as you can probably tell, my hands are beat up. I just got back from war. It was great. So if you guys are interested in checking out that gameplay, I'll have an annotation around somewhere around here. And then I'll also have the annotation in the link below, so you can see me in battle. Anyhow, without further ado, let's get on to the gun. So when you purchase this gun from any authorized retailer like evike.com or any other retailer that carries the JG weapons, you're going to notice that it comes in a pretty nice box. And now I just want to take a quick mention to something that I am super excited that JG finally decided to do. They finally decided to chrono their guns with 12 gram BBs. So this is an accurate FPS reading. This gun is shooting about 338 feet per second with 12 gram BBs, but don't let that deter you. So upon opening the box like so you're going to notice that it's packaged in pretty decent styrofoam. This isn't the best kind of styrofoam. It's the styrofoam that likes to flake really, really bad, but it's okay, and I'm pretty sure it won't get damaged during shipping. We're going to start from left to right and name off everything that it comes with in the box. So the first thing that you're going to notice when you look all the way over here is that it comes with a horrible wall charger. Throw this out, get a smart charger, it'll save you lots of grief. So the next thing you're going to notice is that it comes with a pretty horrible battery. I cannot emphasize enough getting a 9.6 volt battery. It'll give you a great rate of fire. This thing is horrible. I wouldn't even recommend holding on to this. Just throw it out. So the next thing that you're going to notice is that it comes with an unjamming rod. Yes, thank you, JG, because this is an incredibly long inner barrel, and most M4 unjamming rods / cleaning rods will not fit all the way down the bore. So looking all over right, you're going to notice that it comes with two cutout holes. The first cutout being a butterfly key. I don't even know why they include these in the box. Nobody uses them, so we threw it out. And the next cutout being where you get a pretty horrible bag of 20 gram BBs. Don't use in the gun. We just ended up throwing that out as well. And then finally, the gun itself. So the first thing that you notice when you pull it out of the box is this thing is extraordinarily lightweight. I mean, no joke, the thing weighs 3 pounds. So if you're looking for a realistic weight, this is not the gun for you. But anyhow, that out of the way, I'm going to go over all the parts that are made out of plastic and all the parts that are made out of metal. So starting from the front of the rifle, the plastic parts are the hideous orange tip, the front handguard, the upper receiver, the lower receiver, the handguard, the stock, and the charging handle. This thing is literally plastic heaven. So the metal parts, since there's so little of them, I'm going to name off individually. So the first metal part being the front barrel, the front sight, the front sling attachment point, this other weird sling attachment point, obviously the magazine release located here as well as here, the trigger guard, the selector switch, the rear sight, this weird metal thing, I don't know what you want to call this, these two bolts, and the rear sling mount. So with the build quality out of the way, let's go over the external features. So starting once again from the front of the rifle, I'm going to point out where the sling points are. The front sling point being located here, a random sling point thingy doohickey, not even bother putting a sling on here because it'll break right here, and the rear sling point. So with this gun being so lightweight, I really wouldn't worry about the sling points breaking off, and so it's just one less burden you have to remember. So moving down to the handguard, you're going to notice that it has this awkward cutout piece. Now this originally was for a bipod that came in the box. The bipod was pretty bad, so we took it off and just put it somewhere, don't know where it is, but I definitely recommend taking the bipod off because it's extraordinarily uncomfortable when it's on. So the next thing you notice that is a fully functional charging handle. Pulling the charging handle back like so, and flipping the rifle over like so will reveal your hop-up. This hop-up was extraordinarily effective, and I literally had no problem hitting people at 200 plus feet with this thing. That is pretty good considering the gun is only shooting about 338 feet per second. So the next feature I'd like to go over is the fire selector. Now obviously in the upwards position it is on safe, in the middle position it is on semi-automatic, and all the way in the bottom it is on full auto. So upon removing the magazine, you're going to notice that is a 500 round high capacity magazine. Now this is the best high capacity magazine I've ever used. This thing has never jammed in its entire life. It is like the perfect high capacity magazine. So with the magazine out of the way, let's go over the front and rear sight. The front sight is not adjustable for anything, so just leave it the way it is, and if it's out of alignment, oh well. But the rear sight, on the other hand, is a drum style H&K sight. Personally, I always liked H&K style sights because there's lots of different apertures you can select. Now, unfortunately, the sight is not adjustable for windage or elevation, so whatever it's at now, it's gonna have to stay the same, but these are generally pretty accurate out of the box, so I wouldn't really worry about it. Now, moving towards the rear of the rifle, you're going to notice that it comes with a nice cheek riser. This cheek riser is perfect for if you want to put an optic on this rifle. It comes in the box non-attached and is attached by a sticky piece of tape. So anyhow, with all the external features out of the way, let's move on to the internal review. So to start off, I'd like to talk about the gearbox. The gearbox is a standard version 2 full metal gearbox by JG. So that means there is a wide array of upgrade parts that you can do to this gun. Now, right out of the box, the gearbox isn't the greatest, but it gives you a great rate of fire with a 9.6 volt battery. And speaking of batteries, let's move on to the battery space. One of my favorite features of the G3 is that it has a spacious battery compartment located in the full stock. Simply pull down on this rubberized butt pad like so, and will reveal your battery compartment. Now, this battery compartment can house anywhere from an 8.4 volt small type Tamiya connector battery all the way to a 9.6 volt. But if you have one of those gigantic batteries that you really want to fit in here, there are 2 pieces of foam that you can remove in the inside of the stock, allowing you to basically fit any kind of battery in this gun. Now, even though this gun is shooting 338 to 350 feet per second out of the box, don't let that deter you. This is a perfect field weapon and will definitely reach out and touch your opponents. But the good news is that it's shooting under 350 feet per second means that for whatever reason, you can bring this into CQB. I really wouldn't recommend it just because the gun is pretty long. So anyhow, with that being said, that just about wraps up the review of the JG T3 K1 assault rifle. So guys, if you liked the video, slap that like button. And as always, please subscribe.